All right. Hi, my name is Jennifer Mish, and I want to welcome everybody to our Smart as a Service seminar. We're going to get started now. This used to be turning to telework, but as we kind of roll into reopening businesses across the state and the regions, then we just decided to kind of continue doing these webinars because they're a great educational resource and rebrand them as Smart as a Service seminars. So today we'll be talking about SD-WAN, and we're going to hear from Julio Corrales, Solutions Consultant at Mavenspire, who will be discussing SD-WAN today. I want to just remind you about a few things that that you can do to kind of participate during this time. If the presentation in front of you, if it's hard to see because it's too big or too small, there's the minus and plus little magnifying glass down at the bottom, and you can adjust that so that you can see everything going on. You can also ask questions by going to the menu on the left-hand side and entering a question. You can also request permission by hovering over the microphone icon next to your name. And we will be holding all questions towards the end of the presentation, but feel free to ask those questions during the presentation. We do have about 5 or 6 polls that are set up, and they're kind of scattered throughout the presentation. So we'll probably stall and ask those polls, and if you could respond and let us know what you're thinking, we'd really appreciate that. So without further notice, I'm going to transfer our session over to Julio.
Hi, thank you, Jennifer, for that intro. My name is Julio Corrales. I'm a solutions consultant with Mavenspire. I've had background within Nextel and Lucent, which are telco providers. So I have an intimate understanding of kind of this monopoly that they have around WAN technologies. And I also understand the pain point that a lot of organizations have around the trade-offs they have to make around their WAN decisions. So let's talk about what the existing environment is for the WAN, wide area network, and why organizations typically are using these technologies. So the real driver around using point-to-point links, MPLS circuits, fiber shots, is the fact that organizations need a way to have a private pathway for their data. That's not going over the internet, that they can apply their security controls over. The drawbacks with that is that using some of the existing technologies that come from telcos, it's a very costly setup. It's a complicated technology. You typically have limited bandwidth, and it comes at a premium cost. Adding sites is complicated because you have to have long lead times for circuits to be deployed, up to 90 days. And a lot of times, the companies are making trade-offs about what applications they're going to allow over those WAN links because they're coming with small bandwidth, and the WAN ends up determining the application, whether that's windowing, whether or not that's a replication cycle. All of those things are deterministic around the limits that the existing WAN technologies are bringing. So one of the things, one of the barriers also that exists with existing WAN technologies is that you typically set up single links for your sites, for your branch locations or for other locations that you're trying to connect. Because a full mesh topology, when we're talking about the cost and complexity, is very difficult to implement. As I describe those technologies, this graphic here just shows how complex it can be. You have to have like circuits. You have to have BGP routing. It's a very difficult technology to implement. It's something that's controlled typically by the telcos. They provide this as a service. They do it for voice over IP, or they do it for VPN. But you're typically stuck within a fixed circuit and a fixed implementation and architecture around your WAN. So let's talk about what SD-WAN is. First, it's a disruptor. It's something that really changes the availability of the WAN to the organization or company. Why? Well, one of the reasons is that SD-WAN lets you bring your own bandwidth. That means that you can take commercially available or business services such as Fios or Comcast, the speeds of those circuits, and present them within a secured and privatized way to your internal network to create this WAN topology. So one of the things that the SD-WAN does is it creates an overlay technology. So that also removes the complexity around what are my physical components, what are my links in between. It eliminates all that, it flattens it, and creates this overlay. It's an extension of what you've seen happen in the software-defined network, to the software-defined data center, and now we're pushing it out to the edge, the cloud, and even the public cloud. We're able to extrapolate the WAN services and remove it from the hardware, remove it from the complexity of routing and the cost of routing, and present it in a way that's very easy to use. The other thing SD-WAN does is it allows you to aggregate different links. So you can take your link from Comcast and a link from Fios and bundle them and aggregate and present it as a single link that you can use. And you can use the entire optimize across that link. SD-WAN also changes the paradigm around the WAN defining the application. The application then defines the WAN. The application is you're able to set priorities and policies and SLAs around the application. And the application, the SD-WAN, will then optimize that traffic for that application, prioritize that traffic. And you'll see how that gets implemented in further slides. Go here. So Jennifer, I think we're coming up with a poll. Can you review that for
I will
the
launch.
audience?
And actually, I forgot to send out poll number 1. So I'm going to do both really quick.
Oh, no problem. I think poll number 1 was, what are your WAN woes?
Yeah, like, yes, actually, that one is a little later. This one is, what are your chief concerns about WAN?
And I hope I highlighted some of those within the, talking about the traditional technologies around the WAN. Sorry, I went back here.
All right, and then I've got another one coming up here. Number 2, why haven't you connected sites or other locations? Select your most pressing reason.
So I'm going to describe now where the SD-WAN can fit within traditional models of the point-to-point. So we'll talk first about data center and branch, or robo. This is where you have to connect up remote sites, be they clinics, be they other locations that traditionally you would have as point-to-point links. Here you're able to do so. You're able to add sites actually within hours, not months. You're able to use the existing bandwidth that may be there for internet connections. And you're able to do so securely because the SD-WAN is able to segregate traffic. You're also able to take advantage of whereas MPLS and point-to-point technologies may be starving your connections at 100 meg links, 5 meg links. Here you're able to use these low cost, high bandwidth offerings and get full capabilities off there. SD-WAN supports up to 10 gigabit throughput connections. So if you can imagine what that would do to transform your WAN capabilities and your abilities to interconnect and what types of traffic and data you can exchange between your robo sites. SD-WAN also has the advantage of being able to overlay on existing MPLS investments and actually provide increasing SLAs. So you're actually able to account for maybe some of your MPLS networks may have problems with latency and jitter. The SD-WAN overlay actually optimizes that traffic through packet steering. And I'll get more into that technology as we get further along. And then as I described before, you're pushing the edge into the cloud, and SD-WAN actually allows you to then interconnect your SaaS offerings and infrastructure as a service offerings. So what do I mean in those examples? SaaS being Dropbox, Salesforce, EC2 computing, or Microsoft 365, you're able to actually extend your WAN into those public service offerings, as well as infrastructure as a service offerings where you have EC2 compute or Google Compute instances. You're able to extend your WAN capabilities. So from the framework of your organization, it's all within your same umbrella. Sorry, trying to go on the next slide here. We have another poll coming up.
All right, so poll number 3. Which cloud offering do you use? AWS, Microsoft 365, Salesforce, Dropbox, or others?
Thank you. So hopefully that will help give us some insight in terms of what types of public cloud offerings you're trying to interconnect, or that you're currently using and maybe didn't know that you could provide provide access to from your own environment. So the SD-WAN, so the advantages, as I was describing, is in traditional technologies, the interface or the WAN circuit is deterministic of what applications you're going to push across that, and a lot of organizations have to make trade-offs around what applications I'm going to allow on. So wouldn't it be great if you would be able to really allow any application to go on without, and make those decisions within policy, make those decisions within prioritization, that you're able to say the application determines the WAN needs. This is particularly important for applications that you may have demand for at certain times, such as if there's Zoom calls or team meetings that you need to prioritize that traffic, you're able to do so within the orchestration piece of SD-WAN. It's also important for when you have, oh, I'm sorry, there's another poll here. When you have, I'm going to talk about the branch office extending that concept to your home user. Everybody is now working in a remote setting, or a lot of people have been driven into working in this remote setting. And we're at home competing with our kids for the WAN access. They're having Zoom calls with 30 of their friends, or they're on Twitch, or they're doing some other activity, downloading Netflix. You're competing for that traffic now. VPN technologies, while they secure the traffic, they don't really do anything to optimize that traffic. So one of the things that SD-WAN does as well is it allows you to isolate your corporate traffic, allow that corporate user at home to have prioritized traffic within their home. So you're actually able to tag that traffic and say, you know what, my team's meeting or is going to take priority during this time over other over other services at home. And then you're able to optimize your existing links. This is going to be particularly important. I'll get to it in the next, into one of the future slides, when I describe how telcos, have reacted to all this increased bandwidth usage, what they've done in the interim and what they'll do moving forward. So I think we have one more poll here.
All right. So number 4, how reliable is your WAN connection currently? So this is just a really quick, say not so much, you got 1 stars, or 5 stars, really reliable.
Right. And I want to make a point here that this is just WAN connection, both. I want you to think of it in terms of like the WAN for your users, and also the WAN to the organization. So the WAN that you're relying on to interconnect your robo sites, or connect, in the case of a healthcare provider, connect clinics. Or I want you to also think about if there's difficulties here with sites that you may think I can't use traditional technologies for. I can't, there's no circuits available. I'll get into what SD-WAN can actually do to help solve those problems. So here we're going to get in talking about traffic optimization. So I gave you the example of the home user. I'm also going to give you the example of trying to connect sites that don't traditionally have the ability to connect. So remote locations, third world countries, where internet is especially spotty. SD-WAN allows you, to bring whatever bandwidth is available. When I say whatever bandwidth, I mean you can even connect 4G and 5G LT services. You can bundle that with maybe an existing link that you have, or bundle those together. So you're able to take whatever bandwidth you can bring, aggregate it, bundle it, and present it. The SD-WAN has the ability to then optimize those links. It has the ability to do traffic steering. So it constantly monitors the links and makes sure that the best throughput is available. This is especially important when you have brownout situations. Where maybe your provisioned bandwidth that you expect gets degraded because you lose one of the links. So, but you're still able to gain back some of that throughput and get a 10 by multiplier on that using some of these SD-WAN technologies. Let's see. So here I was describing the home user. I'm describing the branch office, but I really do want to focus on the home user because we've all kind of become home users. With the pandemic, we're not able to go into the office. We're relying on VPN technologies. As I was saying, VPN provides you the security, but it doesn't really do anything to optimize your network. It doesn't do anything to really optimize the connection. It doesn't do anything really to prioritize the traffic. The great thing about SD-WAN and offerings from VeloCloud and so forth is that they provide the ability not just to optimize your network links, they also provide you security. This is a technology that uses a layer 1 through 7 stateful firewall baked into it. And this allows you to apply your security policies, but most importantly, it helps you segregate traffic. This is important for compliance purposes, but it's also important for the home user. You don't want to have your corporate traffic being visible to other people within the home, or especially if someone's laptop has been compromised and you have a horizontal infection rate. You want to be able to make sure that that information is privatized and secure. So I'm just started talking about security. So it's great, the slides here. So the security within the SD-WAN, it's baked in. It also allows you to incorporate other advanced firewall features, so it does talk to those. One of the advantages around SD-WAN is that when you have traditional site-to-site links or VPN links, you have to monitor those through your firewall solution. That makes it, in certain cases, that may mean that you need to look at different dashboards in order to see the security and apply policies around your traffic. SD-WAN consolidates a lot of that and gives you a single pane of glass through its orchestration service, where you're able to apply your rules and policies around your traffic, and you have visibility into your internet traffic, your intranet traffic, and your WAN traffic, be that public or private Wi-Fi. It gives you that single pane of glass, allows for the centralized monitoring and also reporting on the security of the traffic within your links. So I'll talk about how SD-WAN actually comes together. There's 3 basic components. The first is the orchestrator. The SD-WAN orchestrator is where you're applying all your policies and procedures. It's where you're able to quickly provision new edge services and new edge devices. As I said, you take the time to deploy robo sites or branch locations or the home user. You're able to do that within hours instead of months when you're actually talking about MPLS circuits or point-to-point links. You remove the dependency on the telco, you remove the dependency on these very touchful technologies. It becomes a touchless. You're able to do this by accessing the orchestrator. It's a cloud-hosted service, and you're able to see your edge devices and add them and add all your policies around them. So it allows you to centralize your compliance. It gives you, and for DFARS, HIPAA, and Safe Harbor, you can actually check some of the boxes for the ability to segregate your traffic. And also it encrypts the traffic. So encryption in flight to satisfy a lot of those compliance requirements. The second piece is the gateway. These gateway services are POPs that exist worldwide. VMware and VeloCloud have worked very closely. VMware and VeloCloud have vetted a lot of these partners that are providing these gateways, so they're providing robust, reliable POP gateways. This is what is used to interconnect some of these public cloud offerings, the IaaS, the SaaS that we described before. It also maintains, they're scalable across your implementations, and they afford you that ability to be able to extend your reach from your from the data center. The data center now gets an extension into a lot of these what were previously siloed areas of your organization, such as Salesforce or Dropbox or some of your EC2 instances. You're now able to flatten that and allow visibility and single pane control into those resources. And then the local component, if you will, or the edge component, can be delivered in actually two ways. One is a physical, or it can even be delivered as a virtual. Since it's VeloCloud has a partnership with VMware, it can be deployed as a vApp, so it can exist within your existing vSphere infrastructure and controlled that way and provisioned that way. So it really becomes almost a zero footprint. The physical devices can also be deployed depending upon availability, and it's important to go with Dell and VMware have a strong partnership. Dell has provided a lot of VVD around their VxRail and VMware's software-defined data center. That's a certified architecture. This is VMware and VeloCloud, VMware they joined, and Dell becoming a stronger synergy, and Dell providing the compute resources and VeloCloud and VMware delivering the WAN capabilities. And these appliances can support both within the virtual and within the physical, can support all these connections up to 10 gigabit per second. So I want to leave you with that thought: 10 gigabits per second when you may be spending thousands of dollars on a single 100 meg link. So what I've tried to convey today, I hope, is that SD-WAN is one of these disruptive areas within WAN technologies to kind of help you over the barrier that a lot of telcos have provided in terms of a monopoly around how you're going to connect to your sites. You shouldn't be told how you want to connect to your sites. You should be told how can I get there? So the SD-WAN, I think, helps solve that problem. It lets you do BYOB, bring your own bandwidth. You're able to then take different bandwidth sources and aggregate them and present that as a single pipe. You're able to apply security and segregation within that pipe, so that you have one pipe representing a location, and You have your public going through there. You have your private going through there. You have your site-to-site traffic going through there. You have an intra-site traffic going through there. It's just all through one pipe. So you don't have to go through different providers to get it. You're able to satisfy a lot of compliance requirements with the segregation and encryption. You're able to extend the branch concept over to your home users that are now at home competing for bandwidth with their families, where you're concerned that that traffic may now be compromised by what's being seen on that network. And then it also allows you the flexibility to extend your WAN reach into public cloud offerings so that you're able to tightly integrate your connections with Salesforce, actually make that part of your private organization, make the infrastructure as a service that you have in the EC2 compute and so forth, make that part of your private organization, and can enable certain modernizations around containerizations and lifecycle, because you have that visibility. It's not outside of it's not siloed. It's part of your existing organization. So I'm really glad everyone came for this. I hope that there was information that was important to you. I think we have one or two final polls just to kind of assess, what it means to you, what this technology could mean for you. And hopefully if there's, and I'm available to answer any questions, happy to do so. Mavenspire has a history of being able to deliver smarty pants solutions, if you will. And we have tight integrations with the Gartner leaders in this case, which is VMware and Velo Cloud and Dell. So we're able to put these solutions in place in a smart manner and address your specific needs.
And then Julio, I've posted the poll number 5, list the reasons why you are suffering your woes. Examples are like user access, applications that depend on WAN, virtual meetings, syncing data, backups, capturing data changes, replication. And so here we go. And then number 6. After hearing about SD-WAN, which features of SD-WAN interest you? Security, bring your own bandwidth, use cases, cost, other?
Yeah, I really appreciate everyone taking the time to take these polls. I know you've probably taken a lot of them, but I hope it gives us helps us get some insight in terms of if there's things that we can do to help you address some of these pain points. I know there's a lot of them around WAN technologies.
All right. I'm not seeing too many questions. So if anybody's got any questions or would like to ask a question, just let us know. If not,
please feel free to reach out too if it's something you don't want to do within this forum. Anyone at Mavenspire will be happy to direct your questions.
And then I want to, well, if you guys are coming up with questions, I just want to mention a few things. Not only thank you for joining us today, but I wanted to point out our next Smart as a Service seminar is going to be on June 24th. 3 ways to set your remote monitoring system. And then we've totally redone our website, and we have an extreme tech makeover for a nonprofit contest going on. So if you're interested in checking out any of those, if you go to the left-hand menu option for handouts, there's links that are specifically go to, like, you can check out our new website, you can register for the next SmartaaS seminar, and then you can also check out the form that you can fill out if you want to nominate a nonprofit for our extreme technology makeover contest that's going on right now. We're working on how we can give back right now with the pandemic going on and everything kind of really affecting businesses and in particular nonprofits. Mavenspire wants to give back and see how we can help add in some, like, a technology makeover and see how we can help make those nonprofits successful even in this time of need. So it looks like we're good with no more questions. Thank you so much, Julio, for spending this time with us on SD-WAN today. And I hope you guys have a great day.
My pleasure. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful day.